Cut. Fucking cut.
Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go purchase one. That's the problem.
This ain't for me. I was like,
the background is mom and dad was addicted to crack cocaine. Okay. Right?
Hi, how are ya? Welcome to another episode of the Doc Holliday Show, where we love to uplift black men, black woman, black teen, black child, black royalty. And today I am joined once again by black royalty, my man who I looked up to, my man who I used to cut on that dial, man, when I was in the Rivy and Fairleigh. I said, Stan, go and give it to me. My guy, Stan Bell. What's up, brother?
I take it, Doc. The Doc Holliday Show. I mean, I like that black part, the blackness.
Blackness, man.
You
Black royalty,
uplifting, Doc.
That's you too, bro.
Man, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Now, Stan, first of all, I know about you, man. Tell the people about you, because we grow across the world, bro. Because I checked the analytics, man. I think we was listening to in Singapore. All different languages, bro. So, tell the people about you.
Buenos Aires, Buenos Dias. Poquito español, yo estoy aprendiendo.
Okay, you got me now.
Across the water.
Latin America, we love you. We love you too.
That's right.
But tell the people about you, Stan.
Chévere. So here's what we do. Of course, I'm Stan Bell, serving you well. And pushing more power than a Duracell.
On one-on-one. Be one-on-one. Yes, sir.
Doc, I done worked at all of them now. It's almost full circle. I'm going to tell you a little something. God has been so good to me. It is just about full circle. And in terms of radio broadcasting, I started back in 1986 at K97. And we started doing the power lines and all that. And we developed a love for our audience, the younger audience, because I was like 7 to midnight and all that. So make a long story short, from there we went to our earlier set on K97, 3 to 7 afternoon, and of course did the roll call and all of that, and then we did end up going to V101. Then I ended up working at WDIA. They called me kind of out of the blue. Come on, do this, DIA, and then of course I'm on Hallelujah now, 95.7 and 101. But I'm just a country boy from North Memphis, Hyde Park Elementary, Valentine Elementary, Snowden. Ended up going to Cypress Junior High, and of course, ultimately graduated from Northside High, home of the Cougars, 1212 Valentine. I'm the son of Mr. and Mrs. Joy and Jesse Bell. How about that?
Now, Stan, man, appreciate that. Now, hey, look, man, now I got so much respect for you, man. I salute you, man. But see, everybody see this Stan Bell, this version of Stan Bell, pull up in the, I don't know if you want to tell everybody what car he just pull up in the box Benz.
Who
put it in the box Benz?
Yes, sir.
Cass is like, who
got
he do it? I said, won't he do it?
We pull up a G for a G, baby. G-Wagon, it's all good.
But look, before the G-Wagon, man, talk about those beginnings, man. What made you get into DJing, and because everybody see us here.
Right.
But you don't know about this struggle coming up and what we had to go through. Let's go to them beginnings,
The cliche, they see your glory, but they don't know the story.
Yes, right? Exactly.
So the humble beginnings, the HBs, the humble beginnings for SB, Stan Bell. The HB for the SB, the humble beginnings for the bell ringer, Stan Bell. Let me tell you real quickly. I always wanted to be on the radio, right? I love music just as you do as well. And so it all started for me watching my daddy kind of DJ at backyard social events, the gatherings, the masonry would be at his house, I didn't know what was going on. They do gathering, but I would see him pull up the records, the albums, that kind of thing, the vinyl, and put it on the stereo system at the house. And he had it where it would pipe through some speaker going into the backyard on the patio back there. So I kind of listened to that growing up. I like the music. I want to be able to do that. And then I started putting the records on in the house, so it would pipe out. And I kind of liked that. And I saw reactions from people. So after that, it got in my system. As we say, you get bit by the broadcasting bug. So we took a little higher. When I got to Northside, is really where it kicked in the high gear, talking to professional school counselors and asking, how could I be down? In terms of, we had this organization called the Teenage Reporters, Doc, and they would come to WDIA. This is how I really talk about full circle. On the weekends, they would go to WDIA and lay down maybe a 1 or 2 minute report about what was happening at the school. And I was like a sophomore listening to the juniors and the seniors talk, they were talking the hip and the slang and bragging about the school and say what was going on. And I said, I want to do that. I want to be the next in line. So I talked to the school counselor, and she gave me this application. Boom, boom, boom. You got transportation, get to the station. Should they pick you and that kind of stuff. So after that, it went through. And there was another person. I think her name was Stephanie Beasley, who we went to school together, and she was one of the ones selected. And we were black partners and stuff. So we went up there every Saturday, and that's how I really got in me. Going to WDIA at the time, they were located on Central Avenue. And we would go there every weekend. I would type up the reports, and we come broadcast it. And I did it for, sophomore year, well, actually junior and senior year. And then after that, I said, I got to take this further. So back to the guidance counselor. So, well, you might need a major in communications if you like it so much. I said, okay, cool. Now, what's the next step? What school I'm going to? Mm-hmm. So, long story short, my sister went to.
No, don't make it short. Don't make it short. No, say it, bro. No.
I watching the clock, being mindful. No,
don't watch it. Not with you, bro. No, don't watch the clock. Not with you.
Keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling, man.
I receive it. It. So, went to UT Martin, major in communications, mass communications, that kind of thing. Emphasis, of course, radio broadcasting. But we got a full, total collegiate experience while at UT Martin. But the thing, the kicker was, Doc, they had a radio station on campus. And that was my experience, my hands-on, able to work the equipment. So I applied for a job there. And I had what we call just a little bit of experience because I did that reporting, WDIA as a high schooler. But I really wasn't enough, but it was enough to kind of get me through the door and kind of prove myself. So other than that, and after that, of course, after I graduated finally, it took a couple of victory laps, as we say.
I understand.
To get out of there.
Yeah, I understand.
But it was worth the while because I think it was a plan. We say delayed by design.
Yeah.
So it wasn't time for me to get out into the workforce. So I guess God kept me in school for a little longer than the traditional 4 years, right? So, and I see now where he had me going. It was delayed by design on purpose. I'm gonna come out. You're gonna come out. You're gonna finish when I say you come out.
Exactly.
I was like, really? Okay. So that's what happened. So after I left UT Martin, then I applied for K97, of course, and got turned down 3 times. Doc, 3 times no. And basically what they were saying, you don't have experience. I said, but I worked at the campus radio station. That's not really, that's just enough to get you, to say you've done some stuff, but they want commercial experience, as you know. And so they said no. And the second time I went back, they said, well, you sound a little country. You're not ready for the quote unquote big, the big time, so to speak, the big city type thing. Then next time was like, well, nobody's leaving, we don't have any openings, the traditional stuff. I've heard it all. Like that song, heard it all before, Sunshine. I said, heard it a bit, this, that. But you know what? So I would not be deterred, If I'm telling other people not to quit, and I turn around and say, I'm going to give up, I'm just going to go and try to find me something else, and but you got to live out your dreams. Here's what I want to drop in your spirit and for your viewers. Motivation is when your dreams put on work clothes.
Love it.
Your motivation is, what you always want to do, just as you've made a move. And I respect that, you made a move, step out there. Unless you move, Doc, man, that's why I applaud you. And that's why I'm going to tell you the reason why I said yes to coming. I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why I said yes to coming. Because I love it when you decide I want to do my thing.
Yes, sir.
It's time to move a little higher. So unless you, here it is right here. Unless you move beyond what you've already mastered, you never grow.
True.
That's for you, Doc. And the other reason why I said I accepted the invitation to come on the Doc Holliday Show is because my mentor told me, said, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Yeah.
And that mentor was Herb the K. Nealon. Yo, leader! Herb the K, double clutch, old school. He's the one that got me on. He was the supervisor when I did the reporting thing for the high school, and he would be the guy we would have to answer to. And if he didn't like our report, he said, you ball it up, look, go back and give me something better. If you don't hit the posts, if you're delivering your articulation in the right, I don't want it. You're not going to be on my radio station. So that's long story short. So when I got, of course, UT Martin, got out of there, went to end up getting a job after those 3 no's I told you about the K97. I wasn't ready for it. They weren't ready for me, and it wasn't my time. It's all about time, as you know.
Exactly right.
We ended up going to Jackson, Tennessee. No shade on them, smaller market. But I needed that kind of small market experience and then keep running those cassette players, recording myself, as we call air checks.
Yeah.
Air checks, the video checks.
Send them out.
Send them out, yeah. That's old school. I send the cassettes out. I don't know, your audience probably knows about cassettes, but you would send those out and then just wait for a program to ready to call you back. So, so finally I got on at Jackson, Tennessee. Super Wolf, much love to Super Wolf. Some of you may remember, your audience may know of Super Wolf. He was the owner, along with his wife, rest in peace, Denise LaSalle, and they gave me a shot. 1985, ended up working at WFKX, Jackson, Tennessee, and did about 6 months there in Jackson, and that's when K97.
Finally said yes.
Finally said yes.
You sent him another cassette tape.
Finally, it happened. Who that, C.C. Pennison?
That's her. You sent him another cassette tape?
Yeah. No, this is weird. I'm glad you mentioned that, Doc. You know, the way I got on the K97, I'll share this. It was, how would I say? I guess it was divine. It was right on time. It was, man, look, I was DJing at a skating rink in Covington, Tennessee, Highway 51. Skating rink, you know, so I love music, so I was like, look, I'm going to make this money some kind of way. Skating rink, whatever. Brand new skating rink opened up in 1982. I was riding by in my car. I was riding with a fraternity brother, by the way. He was from Covington. He says, damn, man, you need to go in there and apply, man. You know, this is my hometown, man. I help you out. I put a word in for you, but you need to get that job, man. Long story short, I went in there, and they auditioned me on the spot. They had some records. Well, I had some records too in the trunk, but they had some records. You know, they said, "We want to hear what you sound like, and we want to hear what you're gonna say, and give us some background." Then I had to sit down and do an interview, just like I'm talking with you.
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, this is the real deal." I said, "This is what a little bit of college was kind of training me for, interviewing skills and stuff like that." So I appreciate that. But yeah, I ended up getting the job, weekends only. You know, I did start off doing Fridays and Saturdays.
How much are we getting paid, man? Tell the people because they don't understand. Yeah.
Let me tell you what I was getting paid. Oh, about $6 an hour.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That
sounds about right. Yeah.
About $6 an hour. And here's the deal, though. I was just happy to get in there. I said, they just let me in. We're going to kick the door down anyway. So, I blew up a few speakers. I just jammed that thing. So I really didn't make any money by the time I got to pay them back for breaking the bows and breaking up the PVs and tearing up and, all of them going through. And then finally, when the crowd started growing there, and man, that was my first negotiation where I could say, look, we need to sit back and talk about this $6 an hour stuff.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at 500 and 600 folk coming through the gate. Yeah. And I said, and they said, you know what? Okay, we got you on this one. I tell you what you do. If you bring us more than what we average coming through the door, we're gonna sit back and talk about bumping you up a little bit more. So that's when I got a taste of negotiation power. Self-worth, what you bring to the table, that kind of thing, and then after that, I went back and negotiated again about getting another night. So we got the Sunday night. So we had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In fact, Doc, we had Friday night, Saturday matinee. Got a matinee skate. You know how you skate, 12 to 3 or, 10 to 2. And then, so, I just made a whole weekend of Covenant. And then came back in Sunday, and then I would drive back up to UT Martin for school next day. So that's the journey. And then after I left Jackson, I got hired from the skating rink. Yeah. Pam Little Girl Wells, I don't know, that might be before your time. Yeah. She was the program director of K97.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. When did K97 pop back in?
That's when it popped in 86, May of 86. First shift on the radio, Mother's Day. 1986. I was so scared and nervous, I didn't tell my own mama that I got the job because I know she'd be listening to everybody, my baby on the radio. But she was kind of laid back with it, but I didn't want to tell her because I was like, I'll be nervous.
I might mess up.
I might mess up, man. I know everybody listen. I'm scared to open the mic up when I make up, So, but that's when it started for me, Doc. It's been surreal. Time has really flown. As I mentioned, 86. Now here we are at 2022. So I'm in year 36.
Wow.
Year 36 at the radio, working in radio and here in Memphis, which as you know is really unheard of. Yeah. Because it just doesn't happen. I was already told, you might as well, if you do 5 years, that's longevity.
Yes, sir.
If you do 5, and so I got to 5. I said, And then 5 became 7, and 7 became 9, and I said, but still, I saw people kind of leaving, coming and going, and new management. They tell you, look, we don't like color tie you got on there. We don't like what you're wearing. We don't like how you sound. They just might make up some stuff on you. Yeah. But I've survived through the grace of God, and we've been able to maintain and do some things. So, but still, I never got complacent because I saw a lot of folk coming and going, and I know how management, they've got different tastes. They want to bring their own people.
Yes,
in
sir.
Sometimes, you know that.
Yeah.
So I started teaching. I started teaching in 1993. So. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead of the gun.
No, you good, man. It's your story, bro. Go ahead.
So 1993, I started teaching because I saw a lot going on in this radio business. I'm like, oh man, I think one day I want to have a family. Yeah. I think one day I might, get married or do something. And I'm like, we can't do it with this. And you talk about making what you made early on, even in the radio. It was about $6.50 an hour when I first got there. And that was part-time when I started in 86, mind you. I did part-time for about maybe 6 months till somebody decided they wanted to leave. The overnight guy left, and I took his spot. I replaced him, or I ended up getting that position. I put it like that. He left to do something else to another market or whatnot. And Pam Wells put me in the game on the overnight. So she said, "Okay, here's your show. You got your overnight." I never forget. It was like midnight to 5:30 till she came on to do the morning show at 5:30. So that, and then when I got salaried, Doc, it was $12,000 a year.
Wow.
But I was so excited to get on the air. I was like, man, well, I'm staying with my folks now, so I guess it won't be so bad. Mind you, that's 86. So I took the 12, ran with it. 12 became 12.5, $12,500. But I'm happy with that. Not knowing really what that it measured up to. But I take the 12.5. And then 12.5 became 15, and it finally got on up to something halfway decent. Halfway decent.
You see where he stopped with the numbers?
He
stopped with 12.5 to where I am. No, we don't need to tell everybody. But no, your whole story is so amazing. But because you are black royalty, man, I look up to you, I salute you. But how important was it, your dad and your mom in your life? Because that's a black king, that's a black queen supporting you, man, and plus trying to guide your way through. I don't know how North Memphis was then, but since then there's but just the city of Memphis guiding through all those obstacles and challenges. Because I'm pretty sure you could have went to the left, where they was doing that, but you went that way.
And I'm glad you asked, because that's a good question too. My dad was very supportive. Of course, that's where I kind of got it from. Him seeing him with the swag and hosting these events in the backyard. My mother was kind of hesitant about me going into, as she would say, playing old school honky tonk music. That's what she was, a honky tonk. Not necessarily calling it the devil's music.
I got you.
But secular.
I got you.
She was on the sacred side, but she supported me in a way that she would even type my reports up sometime. She was a high school typing teacher. Vocational education, and that's another story, how I got the teaching in me as well. I guess it was through osmosis and a little bit of DNA. I never dreamed I'd be a teacher, a school teacher. But she supported me because she would type the reports up, show me how to do it right, because she was typing teacher, so quite now she was quick to, and she typing 90 words a minute, I'm like, okay, you can type them up. But she said, eventually this is going to be on you. So in that regard, my mom was supportive. And then when she saw how passionate I was, she kind of backed away and said, I think this is what he want to do. So I'm not going to push him, away from it. And then, with my dad, and I'm sure, he was all for it. And so when he saw me kind of leaning toward that radio thing, I was taking a lot of risks and sacrificing, driving up to Jackson, Tennessee by myself, driving back to Memphis after my radio show. And it was kind of dangerous. But I had my eye on the prize for real, about that motivation I tell you about, putting on the work clothes and making your dreams come true for real, So that's how it all started. And once they saw I was kind of, there was no turning back. They were 100% supportive.
And and you got that personality, man. Just talk about, because you got so many sayings that you say, man. I remember the roll call, but you got so much you done put out there, man, and inspired so many people. Calling you, listening to you, man, where you get all these sayings from, man? Just give us some of them, Stan.
Man, really from college, I guess. Look, when I was pledging, as you know, Cap Alpha Psi, we got to throw that out there.
Of course.
Omega Man.
Do your thing, brother.
Because we do have something in common. Where's the camera? We got something in common. Like Bobby Wood in 1911, right?
Yeah, 1911. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Yes, sir.
And here's a saying on the heels of that. November 1911, right? So Noops of January 5th, 1911. November 17th. That is. So the Q's eased into the month of. We got him in the year 1911. We got him in the year. They almost was 1912. I didn't throw that one in there.
It's all good.
I can let him get away. I'm on the Doc Holliday Show, baby.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, but in regards to your question, I got a lot of sayings from when I pledged, while I was pledging, while I was a scroller. They knew I was on the radio and on the college campus and kind of doing my thing. So they would make me, set up the speakers, put them up, all that part of it. And then I would learn a lot of the chants and stuff, listening to the brothers and stuff. And then those sayings, and then they kind of just developed as I started doing live shows and emceeing programs from UTM, UT Martin. And then as I got, speaking, those public speaking classes, Professor Dorothy Norton from UT Martin, rest in peace, my public speaking, voice and diction instructor, taught me a lot of stuff. But the swag and and those sayings, catechisms or whatever you want, quotes and all that stuff came along the way. It was like a journey. For instance, I always try to leave my radio show with a word of wisdom, Of course, we've said a few tonight, today, or however you want to call it. It's nice to be important, but more important to be nice. Motivation when your dreams put on work clothes, etc. But when we start doing, I think things start opening up on the radio side in 88 is when I came into my own. Started doing theme songs, intros for when I first come on. Yeah. Nobody was really doing that. Maybe in other markets, major markets, but I said, you know what? I would gravitate toward the younger audience. So I would get cats, man, who might have been, I said, what do y'all like to hear? What do you like to, what makes y'all, get them dance? What do you like and stuff like that? So I came up with intros to songs with those catchphrases. All the rest can get the FM out. Remember that? I'm staying the man. I do all I can to keep the women and the listeners in heaven. Yeah. Don't need your number, a pencil, or a pen, because you can find me on K97. The power station, no hesitation. We played 97 jams with no irritation. 100,000 kilowatts, 97.1, nonstop. So pump the volume. It's never too soon. I'm staying Bell. So give me headroom to do my duty time after time. And don't forget to call me on the power line at 9. Please remember, I'm staying Bell. You can't believe I deliver. We're number 1 in Memphis and the Mid-South, so all the rest can get the FM out. How about that? Yeah. So I can't use profanity. I know I can use profanity on your show, but I don't use profanity.
I got you, bro. Yeah, you try to stay clean, but this is YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. I know
it's
YouTube
cool.
is all. Yeah,
say what you want to say, but I guess.
Yeah.
But no, man,
really, that's it. All the rest can get the FM out, as we know, and frequency modulation. But a play on words when you asked about how'd you get the different sayings and stuff like that. So that's where it all started. By '88, when we started kind of gravitating toward that young audience and giving them something that they can remember and stick to them.
No, because that's one, man. Then you came up with the roll call, man. Just that's something that the young I call us young royals, magically melanated, our young royals look forward to. Because I look forward to it. I used to tune in, but I wasn't finna call. You know what I'm saying? Hell no, I ain't doing no rapping. I rap. But just talk about how did you come up with that? And because honestly, bro, that uplifted a lot of us, man. Because they just wanted to call and be on Stan Bell's show. Right. Can I rap? Can I rap? So you let them know, man. Yeah, it was a good concept. I'm not gonna take credit for inventing it or designing it or how would I say coming up with it first. I'm tell you where I heard something similar done in Houston, Texas. A guy by the name of, called him the Miggity Mad Hatter. He was a top jock there, and he had something where the kids were, calling in back and forth. I kind of like that back and forth banter, that kind of thing, and call in. And it was like the roll call. It was a roll call. So what I said, you know what? I want to ape this thing. I don't want to just directly take it, but Memphis has such a way of embracing stuff. So I kind of flipped it, put a Memphis track to it. Well, we started off doing a Janae track. Hey, DJ, keep playing that song. So the roll call started here in Memphis, started doing it in 94. 94, when that song came out. Hey, DJ, keep playing that song, Janae. And they had the right beats per minute for me and the pace so I could flow it. And then, it's the roll call, it's the roll call, it's the roll call. Hey, what's up, y'all? What you got to say? Who's on the mic with Stan Bell today? That kind of thing. Yeah. And so, hold up. I think you, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think you invented mumble rap because there's a lot of goddamn mumble rappers used to call in to I think they want a mumble rap, but go ahead and finish up, bro.
So it was a lot, man. I always say sometimes I just wish I had a studio at the time. We had a lot of folk. If I was only forward thinking, or if I had the means to get my own studio, maybe we could have got a couple of those folk on there. But we had some good ones now. Yeah. I did keep a couple of cassettes of those folks, but those rappers back then who were 13, 14, 15. It goes on up to high school. But yeah, that kind of sealed the deal for me in terms of radio. If you will, how you say, perpetuity.
Yeah, perpetuity.
And longevity in this business. Because you need, if you're going to be on the air, you got to have some kind of, we call it stick. You got to have a stick.
Yeah.
You got to find out what it is and carve it. And then, so that way people look forward to listening to you because everybody can be on the radio. But if you don't have some kind of, and I learned that from Herb Neely. I stand on the shoulders of a lot of these radio pioneers, man, that I watched. And I just kind of looked at it, I observed, I paid attention. There's no substitute for paying attention. There's no good substitute for paying attention. So I watched Herb Decay. I watched the first black radio announcer in America who happened to be right here in Memphis on WDIA, Nat D. Williams. Nat D. Williams, first black radio announcer in America on a black formatted radio station. They flipped it. It was I think WDIA used to play, I don't know if it was country or something before, and they flipped it to black format, and they hired, and he was my Sunday school teacher, Doc.
Wow.
Nat D. Williams, and he was also a professor, a teacher, a history teacher at, I want to say Booker T. Washington. It was Booker T. Washington on Manassas. Your viewers will straighten that out. But he was my Sunday school teacher. More importantly, I used to watch him, admire him, and he was a shorter guy, but he had that stature.
Yeah.
You look up to him, man, and he had that stature. Of course, I was 8 or 9. He was my Sunday school teacher, and I was looking at him, man, command the audience and quote the scriptures, and then I found out he was a school teacher and all that, man. They said he never opened up the book. When he taught, he was the book. You talk about royals, pioneer royalty. Nat D. Williams, he's a Sunday school teacher. I grew up listening to A.C. Muha Williams, another pioneer on WDIA, Rufus Thomas. We attended the same church, St. John Baptist Church on Vance Avenue. Rest his soul. Rufus Thomas passed in 2001. And the way I know it, that was December of 2001 is when I made the move from K97 to V101, as you mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show. So all of that is history for me. And that roll call kind of sealed the deal. Man, it sealed the deal because what I would do, Doc, and I think I had an advantage. I wouldn't say unfair advantage. I just had an advantage because I was a teacher, right? And I had students, and I taught it to them in the class. And I said, you know what? Y'all gonna learn this roll call because I was on something there. Yeah. So we had a little downtime. We're not teaching all the way up. They say teach bell to bell. No pun intended. But there's you get a little downtime. You got some teaching in your belt.
Yeah, I do.
History, man. I don't know about y'all know about that side of Doc. Do you told them about that? You're a teacher.
No, some of them know that I taught media concepts at Douglas High School when it first reopened. That's why me and you connected again. That's right. By teaching those topics, man.
Yeah, and the students, man, I loved them, man. They loved me and they gave me what I needed. We got out of the book and did what we had to do, the reports and all that stuff. And upload stuff on the many DVDs and like you, I remember you so vividly. You doing one representing Douglas, in the field, doing the sports.
Yeah, I had them do a whole newscast, sportscast.
Red Devil Report.
Yeah, sure did. I sure did.
And see all that stuff. When we got the kids, man, that's how I was able to teach for so long. Because somebody said, man, I was saying to myself, I can't do this, man. This teaching stuff, man. I know it must have been in my DNA, but them years they went by fast. But I was like, man, I got a job. I'm on the radio. Put up with all this, breaking up fights.
It's a lot, man.
You doing more than just doing the lesson plan.
You doing a whole bunch of stuff.
You doing a bunch of stuff. You breaking up fights. You counseling. You man. I remember I came home one day with my wife. I had I wore the Chris White shirts from time to time. I had some blood on them, man. She said, "Where you been?" I broke up a fight. Yeah. And then come on next week. What happened? Oh, okay, I know. But all that's part of it. All of this part.
Because our kids, our young girls need us.
They need
us.
Yeah, jumping in, pull them apart. And y'all going, come on, let's go. But after that, they come back and thank you know all the stories that you get after they graduate, and move on. Man, you know what you talking about then, Mr. Holiday? Man, now I see.
Man, appreciate you, Mr. Bell. I know
that kind of stuff. Yeah. And all that. So that's how the roll call began. I would teach those students. It's crazy. I would teach those students. Here's your line. Here's my line. You come in here, boom, boom, boom. And it caught on so fast. Yeah, so when they got good with it, I changed the track up. I went from the Janae to Outkast track. They had an instrumental called ATLNs. AT, because they're from Atlanta.
Yeah.
ATLNs, And then after that, a couple of years after that, roll call still got hot. I changed it to 3-6 Mafia because we're from Memphis. Who run it? Who run it? Who the Crockers in it? Folks on it? That kind of stuff. And that instrumental was so perfect. for that roll call. And we did it from, and I'll just share this history. The roll call was like from 1994 to 01. Wow. So they said, but Bill, you can't do the roll call anymore because you're moving to an R&B at an old school station, which is 101.
Mm-hmm.
So when I left K97, I will be transparent. I went kicking and screaming.
Yeah, that's what I want to get to next because
it's the Doc Holliday Show, baby.
Radio has changed, and you've been in there seeing a lot of changes.
Yeah.
But see, as I say, people still see Stan Bell right here, this polished. But those talk about, because I'm pretty sure some of those moments, man, you were depressed. Because I'm pretty sure, especially you're like, hold on, I'm rocking on 97. Now y'all want to pluck me out and take me to another format. Just talk about where you were in the headspace when that happened.
Yeah, honestly, I was not ready to go. In 2001 when they came in, I was on my way to do. I remember it vividly, as if it were just a couple of weeks ago. It's in my mind because that was a pivotal moment in my career, and I almost turned it down because I was getting ready to sign on. It was right close to 3 at that time. I said, well, let me just sign on first, and then I'm gonna play my theme song, get everything set up, stack my commercials, get them ready, And then somebody stopped me at the door, That person will remain nameless. Yeah, but they stopped.
Must be an asshole. Must be an ass. Must be an asshole.
Yeah, well, you know
I've
what?
seen them.
I think that person was just doing what they were told to do.
Still been an asshole. Go ahead, bro.
They stopped me at the elevator pretty much. Once I got through the elevator, this when we were located on Union Avenue.
Yeah, on
Union. 112 Union Avenue.
Yeah,
on the banks of the mighty Mississippi. So when I got in, ready to do my show, pretty much close to 3:00. Or as I said, 3 o'clock, and they said, well, you don't need to be going in the studio right now. I said, whoa, let me just kind of put my theme song, load stuff up. No, you need to go down to the general manager's office. Oh, really? Okay, I'll go on down there then. Y'all got somebody sitting in for me while I do, or just work the board so it won't be in the dead air and anything? Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Go down there, go on down. Back then it was like when you go down the hall, general manager's office, that's the power move. You're going all the way down to the GM's office.
Yeah, it might not be going back nowhere else, but out the door.
That's right. You go out there, you go down there, you want to see his summer.
Yeah.
If he put that over going in and doing your show, I said, oh, man. So I went on down there, right? Fresh in the building. And they said, sit down, just like you're sitting right there. I said, we need to talk to you. We've got some plans we want to do. Long story short, you're no longer going to be on 97. Really? Wait, what's up? So I'm thinking I'm out the door then. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
With 97, the kids roll call, and back and forth and star scoop and all that stuff. They said, well, we've decided we want you to go to 101. So at that time, 101. It wasn't V101. It was something cool, hot. They changed it so many different times. Cool 101, hot 101, magic 101. It was just, So it was in this new stage. It was smooth 101. I said, man, I'm kind of hype kind of guy. I want to bring the energy and stuff. I'm with the kids. They want, I want to be, man, I'm playing Eric B and Rakim, and I'm bumping, Too Short. I'm playing the stuff they want to hear. LL at that time was hot, and all that, and whatever was new, I was on it. But I said, now they're slowing me down. I said, God, this is sabotage. Is this we don't like you no more, or we try to bring somebody else in?
Because you were popular, bro.
It was popular.
You were extremely popular, so that was baffling to me.
It was baffling
when I saw that.
Yeah. I said, well, they're getting ready to give me the boo to do something. And even if they do offer me another job, it's probably just a little holding place till we go and slide them on out of there. So I said, I had to pray about that thing, Doc. Is this where you want me to be in my career at this stage? And I'll share this with even my good friend and colleague Bobby OJ, who was my program director for a long time. He wasn't my program director at the time when they made the change, but he said, man, I don't know if I would have gone with that move. I wouldn't have done that with myself if I was, in the power position to keep you on that station. He said, at least you had at least another 3 or 4 or 5 more years, but not at that time. Yeah. And but it all kind of made sense after a while. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. A lot of stuff happens for a reason. You can't, you don't know why. But so I wasn't into questioning God. Just saying, okay, if this is where you want me to be, I'll do it. Talked over with my wife. She said, you better go and take that job. You working.
Yeah, exactly.
So I said, okay, because I was still kind of like in prime. So I said, yeah, I'll accept. But at that time, they were playing much slower music. I don't have a problem with that, but I was still kind of, youthful.
Yeah.
I had to switch from going from Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, maybe to Luther Vandross, Here and Now, Superstar and all that, the slower stuff, the Freddie Jackson and all that over, the Keith Sweat and all that. That's fine, but I wasn't at that stage, I didn't think at that time. So, but what had happened was, it was a blessing in disguise. It added more longevity to my career. Because as you know, the R&B music, the standards, they never go anywhere. They never really go old. They're standards. And you play that, mixed in with the new stuff, it was still cool. So it brought longevity in my career. So now I've been worked at K97 15 years, from 86 to 01. We do the math real quick. And then I've been on V101 as long as I had been on K97. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah.
And so now we've done some other things along the way. The K97 pretty much is history, of course. But and then even after I left, people still like, what happened? And I'm going to tell you, I'll share this with you. On the Doc Holliday Show, I was so despondent. You talk about depression and that kind of thing. Man, I didn't talk for a whole week on my show when I first got on one-on-one.
Really?
No, sir. I was just that. I was depressed. I was despondent. I was in a dark place because I said, man, they're trying to get me out of here. I don't know what the plan is, man, but I ain't feeling this one. And I didn't open up the mic. They called me on that, and they called me about that. Well, you ain't saying nothing. And some of the audience folk, because they promoted I was coming over, of course, to one-on-one. But a lot of people were saying, man, what's going on, man? You ain't talking, you ain't saying nothing. Yeah, man, because I ain't feeling this one.
Yeah.
I might have to go and practice on writing up this, I'm out of here letter.
Yeah.
So after a while, I'm gonna tell you what kind of kept me a little motivated. I don't know if he may be in the audience. Two pastors called me. Reverend Kenneth Whalum. Kenneth Whalum II at the New Olivet Church, and he said, man, I know you ain't saying nothing. You despondent. You're not your regular stand bell. You're not your regular bell ringer. All this stuff. And he sent me some flowers. He sent some flowers. He said a nice plant. Yeah. To the station. It was delivered to the station. One day I walked in the studio. I saw this nice, pretty plant. Dr. Kenneth Whalum sent. He had a note. He said, man, hang in there. He said, you're gonna be all right. He said, I feel you. He left it at that. I read the card, looked at the plant. I kept it in the studio. The next one came from Dr. Stacy Spencer. He's noticed the same thing. He said, man, what's going on? You don't sound like you're into it, man. He said, I kind of know what you're going through. I mean, you created this monster, K97, you was into your element. But he said, I want you to read this book. He told me, go get this book. I think the author was Spencer Johnson, M.D. It was titled, Who Moved My Cheese?
I remember that. I remember that movie. I read that book a long time ago. Yeah.
Who moved my cheese? I thought about it. Yeah. Who moved my cheese? Play on words too. Yeah. My money and my position.
My life, my status.
All that. Who moved it? Man, that book is deep, man. And I read it. Spencer Johnson, M.D., I believe is the author's name. And he said, read the book. Matter of fact, I think he gifted me with the book. Matter of fact, Dr. Stacy Spencer over there at New Direction. But that's when I was going through that depression. They knew it. Yeah. I wasn't opening up the mic. I wasn't doing no liners. I wasn't doing any positioning statements. I wasn't. I let the commercial come out of the song. Let the commercial play. Just go right into it. That's a no. Yeah. I didn't have any dead air, but I just wasn't talking. Yeah. And I said, man, Lord, what I'm gonna do, man. So eventually, after that encouragement, eventually I kind of got on back. I pulled myself back up and got on back into character, into personality, into what I need to. Because I guess if I had kept what we call it. Waddling or just still just laying in my mess, what do you call it, pity party, all that stuff. Yeah, I probably would have got fired. Yeah, you don't want to be here, okay. You don't want to play by the rule, okay. Yeah. We're gonna make it easy for you. We'll holler. Yeah. So eventually I got into it, and then the rest is pretty much history. I stayed with it, and it just kind of lengthened my career. Go with the flow sometimes. Yeah. It ain't always be your way. You got to get out your comfort zone. When that happens to you sometimes, you got to make a decision, actually. Yeah. I'll be making some more decisions pretty soon. I'll come back and give you a scoop on that.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man.
Give you a scoop on that.
And now, through all of this, and now we got Stan Bell still serving them well, right? So where can I know where, but where can they find? You said you do the Hallelujah and you still on one-on-one.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. I'm on V101 afternoons, Monday through Saturday, actually, 3 to 7 p.m. 3 to 7. 3 o'clock, as I say. Classes in session, and then at 7 classes dismissed, and then we go right. All that school theme, is always carry me through, and I'll go to Hallelujah, which it's right down the hall. It's just a walk down the hall, and that's what the blessing of all of this is now, and to be able to stay in the same building and still work at other stations. A lot of people thought when I was going to other states, they thought I was getting in my car traveling across town to another radio station. Like, man, you working your behind off. Man, what you doing, man? When you get to sleep, man? All that kind of stuff. But we technology, change some things up. So we get adequate enough sleep. But I do work a lot. But I say, hard work is the yeast that raises the dough.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cash, you like that? Yeah. Hard work is the yeast that raises the dough. So let's shout out to all my cooks. Who know about that yeast and dough, baking cakes, and then dough play on words. Of course, the money, the cheese. Who moved my cheese? Hard work is the yeast. You got to get it in. Just like you doing this show, man. This is, man, it ain't easy. Folk might think it's easy. Okay, you sit behind the mic. What I'm gonna talk about, I'm just gonna get on the mic and do this thing. You got it up here, man. And I applaud you for that, man. You know about that ethic. Hard work is the yeast that raises the dough. You might not make the money right off the bat, but it's coming. If that's what you desire.
I appreciate it because right now me and Cash ain't making no money, but we doing it because this is what we want to do.
Just right.
And we trying to do something new, man. Grassroots and positive images, stories of us, which you are a very positive story. But go ahead, Stan. I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Ecclesiastes says, for my heart rejoiceth in all my labor. That's Ecclesiastes 2:10. I believe that. You find a job you love to do, you really never work a day in your life.
All praise to the Most High, no doubt, bro.
Yeah, and that's how I've survived this game. In this industry, as we call it, but man, it's been a good run. This is year 29 teaching. I mean, can you imagine? MCS, Legacy, SCS. I started teaching in 93. This is 2022. So in October, it becomes 29 years. Who'd have thunk? Grace of God. 29 years, SCS. Them city schools. I started in 1993 because after I saw so many people kind of losing their jobs, moving on for no reason, GMs coming in, program directors coming in, man, you sound corny, man. Yeah. It's your last day.
Yeah, it's out of here because everybody got a different vision. It's like a new coach coming in. Like I need to get my, I want my players in there.
That's right. Yeah, you can't start no more. Yeah, gone. Yeah, we going a different direction.
But you survived though, bro.
Survived, man. Play Gloria Gaynor. I will survive. Play the game. Put that on there. Super producer. Something like that.
He can do it all, man. He does it all.
He the best, baby. I heard about you. Yeah, man. But survival, man. As they say, survival of the fittest. You got to, in this game, you don't know what direction. So you always have to have, they say, you have to have a plan C. They always say you got to have a plan B. So my plan B, no shade on education, I was like, I got this degree, man. I need to use it for something. This communication just getting yellow. This sheepskin getting yellow on the wall, figuratively, And I said, man, I'm going to start teaching, man, because, this radio thing, man, it's too iffy. And if, so if they fire me, at least I got that. I had just gotten married. I got married in 1992. And my lovely wife, Carla, we give her a shout out. Finally, I get a chance to give shout outs. Everybody else want to call me and give a shout out.
Yeah, you get a shout out.
Yeah, Doc Holliday Show, Carla Bell. It'll be 30 years this year in July. 30 years, man. It don't seem like it. All this stuff is coming together. As you say, the Most High's plan.
Yes, sir.
It's His plan. It's His plan. Capital H there, uppercase. So I said, man, the radio thing wasn't working from 86 to 93. I had 6 years on the air, so I said, okay, I think I'm gonna be all right in this thing, but just in case. Just in case. Yeah, play that Jaheim. Just in case. Yeah. So so we started teaching in 93, and of course, so I had some means, I had some income where I could kind of, if that be the case, I'd be blessed with children and that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, and then they came.
How many you got, man? How many y'all got?
I got 3 sons.
Yeah, I know that, but
yeah. I got 3 boys.
3 boys.
My 3 sons. Anybody remember that show, My 3 Sons?
We do.
Fred McMurray. That's old
do.
school. You got to be at least 40 to know about it.
At least. I'm almost 50.
My 3 sons. Remember Bert and Ernie and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been blessed 3 sons. I name them almost kind of like after you there. They start with M's. See that? That's
I
a
see.
scoop
I
right
didn't know
there.
that, bro.
Yeah, they start with M's. Matthew is my oldest. Middle boy is Miles, Myles.
Yeah.
And then my baby boy, who is 17, he's Micah. Micah in the Bible. So
I know Michael, man. The prophet. Yeah, I know Michael.
Yeah, prophet. Yes, sir.
So hold on.
Names got meaning.
From 17 to how old is the middle one?
The middle one is 23.
Okay.
He was born in 98.
Okay. So ain't too big of a gap.
You're not too big gap, but the baby boy is the big gap from the oldest to the oldest one is 6.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
He's 17, 6. He just turned 17 in December. So yeah. So first baby came in 95. That's Matthew, 95. So yeah. But no, man, it's been a good run. Everything is flown. I mean, it's flown by and everything is flowing.
Yeah.
For the Bell household, so far so good. God's been real good on this journey, and to be able to do 2 careers, nothing wrong. Somebody told me there's nothing wrong with having 2 careers. Do a career if you can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You can take, So God blessed it where I could be. I'm in school 7:15 to a 2:15 school. You know how it works.
Yeah.
The time to get all your stuff, pack your stuff. 2:30, you out of there. Get to the station about 3. 3 o'clock, 3 to 7. So that was a love right there. Yeah. But see, when I first started, Doc, I was doing a nighttime show, so no conflict, no rush, no coming up to the station on 2 wheels, flying and sweating, trying to make it on time, do your first break.
Yeah.
I was the night guy. So I taught 7 o'clock in the morning to 2:15, 2:30, high school time. Then I relaxed, 6 o'clock I go on the air.
Yeah.
It was love, but I just had to balance it. And then so, other than that, but it's a good profession, a good occupation. I always say sometimes, as you know, being on the radio industry it can be how would I say? It could be fame, fortune, and it could be food stamps. I'm just saying, no shade.
Yeah.
But at that time, it's what you make it. You ain't gonna make no money off the top. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna make no money.
Well, I know. Look at the camera and tell him. I know Stan ain't gonna make no money off the top.
Yeah, you gonna make no money off the
TV
top.
either, bro. TV either.
Fame, fortune, and food stamps. But I'm just saying. But it can come. I say this. I look right there. I don't know what camera.
It don't matter, man.
Got so many in here, Doc. If you coming up,
that's
man.
Cassius. If you look at this one here, he'll pop you.
I'm right there.
There you go, right there.
The red light, the tally.
They looking right at
the tally light.
The tally light. You see the tally light.
Make sure everything's straight. All right. Look at the tally light.
The tally light.
Some of that Douglas stuff back in the day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Concepts.
Had to teach him, man. Had to teach him.
Look, success usually comes to those who are too busy to look for it. That's what's up. Yeah. Success, so in other words, you're staying busy. You say folk gonna notice you. They see this Doc Holliday Show, you never know who's watching. Who said it? I think it was, who said, Orson Welles said this. He said this prolific thing. He said, you never know who's listening, who's watching. Remember the War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
That story that we had
on radio?
Your radio.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was a real news story, the way he delivered it. They thought
the
the world was
aliens
coming
were
in.
here.
Yeah, they thought the aliens were gonna invade.
Yeah.
Starting with the state of New Jersey, take over. People start arming themselves. They scared, man, I ain't finna die, man. I'm finna pull out my 12 gauge, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to take me out. I'm getting them first. And so by his delivery, so he said, you never know who's watching. You never know who's listening, because they call him to the carpet about it. You uproar, you got everybody thinking the world we're getting ready to come to the end, all this stuff. So we have an important job, to tell the story.
Yeah.
To tell the story. When I'm on the air, I learned old school. You're only as good as your last show. You're only as good as your last. You got me here today. Tomorrow it might be somebody next, and your performance got to be just as on point.
Every time.
I know you had my good friend Thaddeus Matthews on.
Yeah.
So you got to be just as on point with my show as you were on his. You got to. But a question that, like I said, people think it's easy, but it's not, man. And if you want to be successful and going back to about making that money, just stay on the grind.
Yeah.
The few nuggets I dropped on the Doc Holliday Show today should help you find your way into what you want to do. Motivation is when your dreams put on work clothes. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to look for it. Here's another one. Personality has the power to open doors, but character keeps them open.
Oh, we got to roll on that, man.
D. Holiday.
I can't say nothing else after that.
2 L's? Yeah,
2 L's.
2 L's,
baby. Bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir, Doc. Yeah.
Stan Bell?
Serving you well, pushing more power. I said Mo.
Mo?
And the Duracell. I'm from North Memphis.
North.
Yeah, yes, sir. Who run it?
Thank you so much, man.
No, thank you, Doc. Man, my pleasure, Doc. You keep doing this thing, man. This what's up. You helping somebody at the same time you're encouraging people. You're having guests, as you say, royals come on. I receive it. I'm not worthy, I receive it though, man. And I said, man, when you reach out, man, it's the olive branch, Doc. We got to do it.
I got you.
Coming up, and we all coming up.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, pray for me.
I will.
Always.
Same here, man.
That's it. You got a good engineer back there.
No doubt.
Yes, I love these studios, man. It's crisp. You got the color, the red jumping out.
You popping.
On the thing is popping. This thing, coordinate. Man, this is the show.
I mean,
please have me back. I know you don't really.
No. Yeah. I mean, your cufflinks. I want everybody to see your cufflinks.
What camera are we on?
No, you got to.
I got to raise them up on this one. You put it where it need to be.
There you go. Hey, see you got short cufflinks.
I want y'all to say, oh, it's the diamond.
And on that note, man.
Hold them too long on that one.
No, sir.
We're back on the 2-shot.
That's all good, man. But anyway, man,
yes,
thanks
sir.
again for joining us.
Man, bless you, Doc. Man, much love to you. Much love and happiness, as Al Green would say, man. And please invite me back.
I will, man. No doubt about it, man. And that's going to do it for another great episode of the Doc Holliday Show, where we love to uplift black men, black woman, black child, black royalty. Until next time, we out. Appreciate you staying. That was outstanding, my brother. Yeah, man. Hey, that was great.